إحنا ما قدامنا غير طريق هالبحر، يا موتى يا وصال. فأنا هن هيك يعني لا سمح الله إنه هن هيك حيموتوا، معلش يموتوا هن بحضني، وأنا عم حاول إني أوصلهم لبر الأمان. أما إني أقعد واستناهم يموتوا قدام عيوني لا أبدا.
With their dark night of the soul well and truly upon them, many Syrians would rather die trying to find a new life than risk even more certain death, staying put. Last year was the deadliest on record for migrants crossing the Mediterranean. 4,000 drowned, but they've just kept coming in ever greater numbers. And now, for the first time, the onset of winter has brought a whole new surge. Thousands of Syrians have been arriving in southern Italy aboard huge steel-hulled freighters, the so-called ghost ships, abandoned by their crews. We decided to track down exactly where they'd come from. A murky underworld thrives in the towns that dot the southern Turkish coast, an hour's bus ride from the Syrian border. Refugees flock to this smuggler's den for their one-way ticket to Europe. The smugglers are thriving, but you rarely get to hear them speak.
15 إلى 20 يوم تنطلق الرحلة، طبعا كله مدروس يعني. ثالث سفينة، ثالث باخرة بقوم بالمساعدة فيها. 1000 شخص تقريبا. اللي أنا اللي قمت بمساعدتهم تقريبا.
Many Syrian refugees end up in the Turkish port city of Mersin. They'll have sold their homes, cars and family gold to pay for their passage, upwards of £5,000 a head.
Of the thousands of Syrian refugees in this city, the bulk will be waiting with their precious savings for the boat to Europe. Preying on them, the smugglers, the middlemen and the mafia. This is where organised crime meets humanitarian plight.
Europe is leaning on Turkey to do something to stop the surge of illegals now arriving on big ships. No crackdown so far, but refugees and smugglers all take care to stay off the radar of Turkish intelligence. They're hidden away all over this city. We enter their paranoid clandestine world. I'm with a Syrian middleman known as Abu Laith. His job is to put his desperate compatriots in contact with smugglers. He insisted we conceal his identity.
Why are people suddenly leaving Syria in such numbers?
Because Syria is finished. It's a country of death now, so people are escaping death and looking for life outside. They gamble with their lives. It's a matter of luck. If they reach their destination, they live, and if they don't, they're dead anyway.
Who do you blame for the level of risk that these refugees are undertaking? Is it the smugglers who are to blame?
No, it's not the smugglers. It's the opposite. The smugglers are helping them. I blame the countries who are receiving them, the countries that like to talk about their humanity.
People would avoid all the risk and save so much money, he explained, were they able to just jump on a plane, visa in hand. In these dangerous times, he said, it would be in Europe's security interests to enable that.
If they open their embassies and help people, they will get Syrians who have proof of identity. This is better for Europe. At least they would know who they'd be taking in, their names, their origins. They could be terrorists.
Abu Laith has a point. It's entirely possible that jihadis are posing as refugees among the shiploads of Syrians arriving in Europe. These pictures were filmed by asylum seekers aboard 2 of the cargo ships en route to Italy just last month. The smugglers will organise travel for anyone, as long as they pay. The vessels are bought off the scrap heap for next to nothing, and, incredibly, smugglers make millions on every ship that sets sail. 800 people averaging £5 a head minus costs, and they're clearing a cool £3.5 million in profit on just one big ship. Nearly 20 have reached Italy in just over 3 months. Rescuing hapless migrants from these so-called ghost ships has cost the Italian government and the European Union millions of pounds. The middleman, Abu Laith, has brought me to meet his business partner, Ali, a smuggler.
The perception is that smugglers and traffickers are greedy people who are preying on the disadvantaged. People are fleeing war. Is that what you are?
Well, if you analyse the amount they pay, it's not that much in comparison with the service that's provided. When you add it all up, you'll actually find it's a very reasonable amount.
So who are the owners of these ships? Are they the ones making all the money?
Yes, the money is for them, the mafia. They are the ones who make it happen.
Are you a smuggler?
No.
What are you?
I'm helping Syrians get into Europe. Maybe I am part of a smuggling operation, but I'm not the entire operation. I do everything they need until they get to Europe. My work is humanitarian, and I'm on the side of my people. I help them make the transition to a new homeland.
On the 2nd of January, we filmed the arrival in Italy of the first smuggler ship from Mersin of 2015. Those aboard claimed, like others before them, to have been abandoned by their crew, giving rise to the term migrant ghost ships.
They left the ship?
Yeah, they left the ship in a high-speed boat.
In Mersin, Ali, the humanitarian profiteer, scoffs at the notion they're ghost ships.
Do you really think a government like Italy's, with all its intelligence expertise, couldn't find a crew that abandoned ship? They know the captain is one of the refugees. They know the crew has mingled with the people on board. They will ask for asylum like everyone else. They know where the captain is. Where would he go? Did a helicopter come and whisk him back? He's still on the boat.
When I asked the people who came off the Ezadeen what had happened, they said the crew had abandoned them and left in speedboats. Is that true?
No.
No, before they go, I do a deal with the passengers not to identify the captain.
So, lies agreed upon, deal done, the passengers just wait. Wait for the wind to drop, the churning sea to settle, for their freighter to arrive. In small, out-of-season resorts, they sit it out and dream of streets in Europe, paved in gold.
After the storms of recent days, high pressure is now building and the forecast is good, albeit bitterly cold. The people smugglers pay constant attention to the weather charts. And tonight, they will be back in business. They've told us there are 4 vessels offshore right now in international waters waiting for their cargo of Syrian refugees. And they could be in Italian waters within a week.
Anxiety levels are high. There's fear of the unknown. Some will never have seen the sea before. Many won't be swimmers. Watch carefully, and purchases in corner shops yield clues to what is happening here in dead of night. Armed with life jackets and stocked with supplies, small boats will transfer them to their ship, lurking somewhere out there in the darkness. For Syrian escapees, this perilous voyage, the final leg of an odyssey that started in the ruins of a land that's torn itself apart. 2 families from Damascus who'd fled a district that was under siege for months as fighting raged around them. These children witnessed the violent deaths of friends. Half-starved and scavenging for weeds to eat, they finally upped and left, their lives unlivable.
وين نروح؟ واحدة من التنتين، يا أنا بدي أغامر مغامرة وانتقل من مجتمع لآخر، يا أما بدي أسلم نفسي للموت، يا أما
موتة.
They hadn't planned to head to Europe, but life in Turkey proved unlivable as well, without papers, jobs or money.
وأطفال ما عاد في مستقبل، أنا بدي أطلع كرمال هالأطفال، مو لأي سبب تاني، بس أمورنا تدهورت بشكل تام.
As the mother of 3 young children, you're taking a great risk going on this ship. Are you really prepared to risk their lives and your own to do this?
هلا لما كنا بسوريا يعني هن هيك يعني بخطر دائم، نزلت كم قذيفة بقلب المدرسة عندهم، رجعت نزلت قذيفة قدام بنتي بالباص تبعها وهي بتحكي لك القصة كاملة يعني كيف طار الباص فيهم. فأنا هون ما بقى يعني هي هيك موتة يعني ما لا هن عم بيشوفوا إنه إحنا عم يعني رحلة الموت اسمها رحلة موت يعني بالنهاية ما حدا حياخد روحي أو روح أولادي غير ربي. بس أنا ما رح أقعد أكيد واستنى الموت اللي تيجي لعندي رح أحاول إني أطلع فيهم.
There is no safe or legal means by which refugees from Syria's civil war can reach the safety of Western Europe. They're forced to trust themselves to the godfathers of the Mersin underworld, unable to stay where they are, unable to go home. Vagrants in a twilight zone, destination Europe, with no firm ETA.